Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This one's going to be on Bron Breaker, Bone Breaker. Ah, see what you did there, Scopely. Also, it looks like he's got, maybe those are spikes sticking out of his thighs there. That probably didn't feel too great. Yeah, let's take a look at Bron. So actually, before we get in, there is a zombie moment this year. All right, go away. I'll show you guys what that is. It has a small impact on Bron and Seamus. Right here. 50% all gem damage would be for Bron. And then the red. And Seamus would potentially be the all gem damage in the green. The health applies to all of them. I mean, Seamus, you're going to use the sub anyway, right? So it mostly just like applies potentially to Bron, one of his movesets. Yeah, so that's the moment. I think, is that in the armory this month? Might be in the armory. They like to put the moments in the armory. It is. It's in the armory. So, all right. Now, back to what I was doing before I sidetracked all of us. So, Bron Breaker is a modern era aggressive trickster. He's the A tier. And I'm going to be real with you guys. I struggled at first with him to find maybe something I liked. But there's going to be a highlight. The last build I'm going to run is the new mechanic. And it actually works really well on him and flows really well. And without knowing like exactly what we're getting, I feel like it's going to be really good in the new mode because of how it flows and stuff. So I feel like I may end up liking him more strictly because of that mode, and he's an A tier people are going to have more access to overall. So, but I did struggle to find stuff I liked with him as far as his movesets. So just a heads up there. Link, the zombies, he's got the zombies any color move starting MP reduced by 2, which is awesome. Year of the Zombie, any color move starts with 5 more MP. Modern era, gems do 5% more damage. We saw he just had the stock gear. I'm really... So we were told the coaching abilities all being similar, they get better as they go up in tier and do more things. And like, that's okay, like I suppose for some accounts, but on accounts that have a decent amount of stuff, like this is still worse than Steamboat. Steamboat has the extra trap, but you can use 2, right? Train coaches a lot of times, so they would work in conjunction, so it's not terrible. But then you have Seamus doing like 100%. It's a mild upgrade. So I'm not really a fan of how they're doing it personally. But anyway, we'll see how the season unfolds, or the month unfolds, I guess, and it could end up being better than it currently feels. So this first moveset, I want to clarify a few things. It's a bleed moveset. You could use a lot better bleed trainers than I am. However, if you have the better bleed trainers, I don't think you would ever run this moveset. This is more like trying to show people accessible free-to-play trainers and what it might look like to get Bron through tours, maybe things like that, right? So yeah, under no circumstance is this going to be OP, even with OP trainers, right? There's another thing I want to cover too. With a couple of bronze movesets, you could do, and this is one of them, you could choose 9 purple gems to make into purple, and then have the purple to red skill plate, and do a 5 match in a 3 swipe, and you could get the bleed twice. You absolutely could do that, but if you're going to take that much risk, it is really silly to do it with a card this bad. Use Miz, use CM Punk, right? Use somebody else like that. If you're going to do a 5 or a 3 match, you need to win immediately after the 5-3 match and then hit really hard. And under no circumstance should you do that with a sub bleed card, in my opinion. So I'm not going to show that BS because that's what it is to me. It's silly, it's unreasonable, and it's not useful. That's my 2 cents. All right. Just want to clarify. There's another one with the trap where you could use the trap plate potentially and get really lucky and do some things with the choose, but it's silly, I think. So I'm not showing it. Someone else might. All right, Shambling Clothesline, 6 MP, 537k damage, deal 3.1 bleed to your opponent for 3 turns, 3.1 mil. If your opponent's style is defensive, first deal 537k damage and double the bleed damage. So this is good against a defensive superstar. You could get a lot of mileage potentially out of that, doubling the bleed. Cadaver Clutch, 7 MP color submission. Choose 11 gems to make into red sub gems. Do 532k damage for 3 turns. Remaining turn into botch gems. Okay. And then Delayed Inevitable Suplex, 6 MP red, 529k damage. Choose 9 gems to make into purple gems. You probably see where we're going with this. So for this build set, we have 4 red MP, and then we have 100% bleed with an accessible trainer, 2 purple MP, which doesn't actually matter, sub turn in 50%, and then Kyrie for bleed. So 140% bleed. That gets us up to a 21 million bleed over 3 turns. We have a 4-turn sub to help drain them. These recycle themselves, right? We're going to have to do 2-3 matches to load the sub. So yeah, let's get out there and see what it looks like. We're going against, you know, his uncle, because I thought that would be funny, and also because a moveset later Sammy reverses, and Zombie Sammy, and I don't want to, so I went with Plan B. Alright, so there's the bleed. And then you choose the 2 moves to load the purple. You suppose the spikes in his thighs are maybe a nod to, like, Frankenstein, you know, Frankensteiner? I don't know. That's, I think, reaching. Frankenstein vibe, though, would fit Bron Breaker, obviously. And then you just need to match some reds. We don't really care about the botches, whatever. Choose a few, call it a day. Right? And you can see we're doing some damage, right? It's not bad. It is not terrible. It's a 2 to 3 cycle win, though, with these trainers, right? But it does drain them unless they have a matchy match plate, get a 5 match, something like that. So it is usable. Why am I choosing more purple gems? And like I said, you could 5 match, 3 swipe, but it just doesn't make sense to me. Although after the initial sub, you could put the bleed down twice if you really wanted to, as they move the pin bar more usually. That could potentially be safer. Something to consider, I suppose. That's fine. We don't care about the botch gems. I don't think we're going to quite zero them here. I think we're going to need 1 more cycle. Yeah, really close, but not quite. And we can just bleed and pin him. Bleed him out, I think, and pin him here. 7-9. Yeah, we can. Okay. So that's that moveset. This is... During 99 MP, this would be really interesting, potentially. But... He's got these unblockable traps that I really like, and I want this to be slightly better than it is. It potentially has a strong build, so... Oh yeah, to start out, we're using a gem damage strap, Fury 2s, right, 100% strap, all that. So, this moveset has some potential. It's got some higher end plates you can put with it. Which we will kind of get into that as well. And we need to choose. All right. So we're still got the choose. Then we have this Oblongata Slam, 7 MP purple, 542k damage, make 15 random gems into trap gems. Broken by your opponent, deal 542k damage, make 2 random gems into botch. Broken by you, steal 1 million health. Hardcore, if opponent's class is a technician, first deal 542k damage, increase your red gem damage by 100% for 1 turn. Think Alexa Bliss, but unfortunately it's not purple, so you can't use the Tama plate. If this was set up just like Alexa Bliss, I would love this one, but the gem color is wrong. It's red. If it was purple, chef's kiss. Anyway, it's not. Bloody Belly Suplex, deal 1 mil damage and make 14 random gems into blast. Then finisher, 1 mil damage, 49 random gems into red. Now, a bunch of people are going to say in the comments, Mherex, they're going to ask if the Titan plate works. They're going to ask if the Frankie plate works. They're going to ask if the Anniversary plate works. No, it does not. Tested, does not work because it's a combo finisher, nor do I think it should work. So I think it's functioning properly. They do not work, but somebody, I guarantee you in the comments, will say something, even though I just covered it right here. Happens every time. All right. So let's run this. And this is, if you don't have mellow, this is the only way you can run this. So, red, that gets your move loaded here. Now we got 2 million. So that's 30 million unblockable health steal on the trappies. And then matchy match on Hogan. So 2-3 matches. So we're not having to do 5-3 risky nonsense because that's not worth it. In my opinion, you should never play that way in this game, even free to play. To be honest, just because there's better options now, my free to play doesn't have to do it, so yours shouldn't, because I'm newer than most people. All right, put the traps out. We're gonna do 30 million unblockable health steal. Then we're gonna blow up the board as well. But we have no modifier to make the gems hit harder. So 40 million total, which isn't terrible, but it won't blow you away, right? Plate-wise, you could put the red Barber's Blades, and somebody will definitely say you can use that, and you can. It'll add 75% gem damage, which will be, at best, 1 million or 2 extra damage than you saw right there. You could also use... People will say red Royal Rumble. I wouldn't. I'd use purple. He's a trickster. Purple's his primary color, but you could use any Royal Rumble. But purple would be his best. If you want to know which would be his best, you go into info, look at his gem strength. So the highest is the best, so purple would be best, black Royal Rumble second best, red Royal Rumble third best, tied with green Royal Rumble. Okay? Any of them would work, but they're only going to add about 6 to 7 million damage each. So not the best usage of a Royal Rumble. All right. Now, basically, you can 2-click this with safety, and it's the exact same damage. Right? And this is the Alexa Bliss build with traps, right? It's Mellow, Woods, Santa, and still the steel here, right? It's basically the Alexa Bliss build. 2-click, and it hits exactly the same as the previous one did. It's just way safer, way better, more efficient. All the same things apply. Traps go out. Blasts go out. We should hit for about 40 million damage. Maybe a little more because this is a big boy Santa Hogan. It depends on the cascade. Yep, 41 mil. So basically identical, but just one is simpler and safer. Now, let's see what that looks like against the Technician. And again, the previous one would hit just as hard against the Technician. They're both identical in damage, just different in gameplay, right? So this will give you a comparison if you want to put them in your lineup to hunt techs. Let's say when there's a feud lineup where techs are required, showdown, that kind of thing. Can he hit? That is not a tech, Mherex. That is almost... He's almost a tech. All right. Tech Cena. In we go. You can see we're glowing. So we have the hardcore move. That gives us 100% red gem buff, and that's something. That should double our gem damage to about 16 million, so like 48 million, 50 mil pin is what I'm thinking. Let's see. Interesting. Oh, he has less life. We can't see. He has too little life. Unfortunate. He has too little life because he's low level. And I don't think there's a tech anywhere with higher life that I'm aware of. Well, long story short, it's 100%, so it's pretty easy to calculate. He should hit for about 8 million harder. I just thought I would show you guys, but I can't. My bad. Because the traps undo it. So the next question becomes, right, with the traps, is obviously it's a trap. Let's get 8 multiply gems. because the traps are before the finisher and it works. So because it's so good on Bliss, how is it on Bron? And do keep in mind, we're going to get 50% gem damage if you get the moment, and 50% red gem damage if I'm not mistaken. So that'll get you 100% more whenever you make 8 random traps, 8 multiply gems of strength 8. And again, the same damage between that one and this one, just how they play is different, but you can just assume the same exact damage. So just for speed's sake, I won't bother switching or running both. $15 million, so 48 million total, right? Now that on attack would do 38 million instead, or it was 50 million, would do 30 million. You know, double the gem damage part. So that kind of not there, right? It's just kind of not really there. So again, you would combine it with a red Royal Rumble, probably ideally for when you're hunting techs, and you can maybe get stuff done. Basically, long story short, Bron, all of these ways is not really exciting. He does have this last move set though, and this is way more interesting than I thought it was going to be. I'm like, I don't even, another sub, this is lame. But I played it and I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting. I think you guys are going to find this, if nothing else, fascinating, this new game mechanic, and in particular how it works. So we're going to use the Dr. Frankensteiner, and note all the moves are black. This is a 6 MP black move. Deal 555k damage, choose 10 gems to make into black gems. It's also the reversal being submitted, 5 mil damage, 20 million bleed, blah, 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 blah. We don't care. It hurts them if they sub us. Zombie attack, 8 MP sub. Generate 30 random subs and do 2 mil damage 3 turns. Remaining turn into silence gems for some unknown reason to you and me. 12 feet under, 10 MP finisher. Deal 3 mil damage, 7 million bonus damage for every player turn that has passed, including current turn for up to 10 turns. Talked about this a little bit in the Seamus one. This is going to be a new game mode. It's going to apply to your actions, and it'll read essentially like action will count as a turn in that. It's if I understand what I was told correctly. So this has a chance to get beefy pretty quick. Now, if you're considering actions different than moves, which they are in that particular game mode, using this move is an action. Using this move is an action, and using this move is an action. The fact that this fills these and you just keep going through your actions will be very beneficial as this gets stronger and stronger and stronger. But it flows really, really well if you're not thinking about feud, right, necessarily, or like showdown necessarily, but this ends up hitting way harder than you would think, and I will show you what I mean. Also, I tested this. I will show you. With a move damage strap, the move damage strap does not affect that bonus damage, right? So again, I thought this would be super interesting for people. It was interesting for me. So the move damage won't affect the bonus damage, but it will affect the finisher itself, right? So that's worth noting. So we switched to the move damage strap. Now let's put the loadout in. We're going all sub trainers, right? So black submissions do 100% more, 2 MP as well. Woods is 4, so 2 and 4 is 6. Your turn is 7. We need 8 for the sub, but we kind of want the choose move in this case anyway. In thinking about another game mode, because we also have to fill the finisher. So instead of using like Santa, because if you use Santa, you could just start with the sub, then hit the finisher. And that's certainly a possibility, but you'd lose a lot of sub damage here. Generate 30 sub gems, 6 mil over 5 turns. That's 30 million sub damage, which is not bad. Then we're hitting that 3 mil finisher, but we have move damage on, and then we're going to get bonus damage of more than 7 million because it's not one turn. Remember, it says including current turn, right? So this gets actually really freaking interesting. I was shocked, and I think you will be too. Because I saw this and I'm like, well, this is kind of pedestrian, right? This isn't that exciting. It's going to be another 3-cycle sub win, you know? But it's not. So to start off, you could choose 3 and fill this. So if you think you can win in 1 cycle, you absolutely can do that. But then you will not recycle, right? So ideally you're choosing 6, so you recycle. Potentially if it works like boss, you would choose 7, but you also wouldn't have to worry about a cascade, so it's not problematic. Then you hit the sub. We're going to do 30 million sub damage, which is not shabby. Way better than the bleed setup, right? Because it's way simpler. Now, let me slow this down. Finisher, you can see we're hitting for 13 mil with the move damage strap, which is not bad. That brings him down to like 21 million-ish or something like that. Let's see how hard he hits. Watch this. So yeah, 13.8 million. And then he did another 14 million on top of it because of that bonus damage. So we hit a 28 million pin. So that's 58 million in a cycle. Not in one turn, but in a cycle. You guys saw how that worked, right? We got that 14 mil bonus damage plus the other stuff. Now, that also, to me, is very, very interesting. Like, let's do something silly. All right? I will show you. Let's, just for fun, for science, let's do this. Let's take Logan off and replace him with Santa. So we can just click to start. And do less sub damage. You'll see why in a second. The sub's 8 MP though, so this could be risky. I might cascade. So we're just going to hit the sub. And this is going to be 1 turn. Just keep an eye on Taker's life. Alright. Now, instead of hitting the finisher, we're going to hit that sub again. I cascaded, it's fine. He's not charged. There you go, McMenemy. I'm sure you're thrilled. Alright, so we're going to hit this again. Just to show, this is just to show the mechanic. I'm not trying to win efficiently here, by the way. Okay, now he's down to 40 million, right? Let's slow this down. We got a 13 million finisher, so that puts us to like 28 million. There's the 14. And look, we zeroed him, 26.5, because of all the extra turns. That's unblockable damage. So, well, I don't love him currently. I will say that the triple black is way better than I thought. You're going to get some 1-cycle sub wins, right? Without anything fancy. Look at this trainer setup. So I do think a lot of people that get him this month will be able to use him to quite good effect. People like my main account aren't really interested in that. What I am interested in very much so is this new game mode, and I do feel like he's going to be a very accessible option compared to the other zombies, right? And this flows really, really well. Without the game mode being here, this is pure speculation on my part. So tentatively, he's kind of meh for me, but ultimately he could end up being the piece you need. And I kind of wanted to focus on that triple black moveset and that mechanic because we've not seen it yet, right? This is the first time we've seen the mechanic. So I'm very curious of what you guys think, mainly about the mechanic. Also, Bron in general, but really, really curious about the mechanic. I find it fascinating when they add new stuff, new mechanics to the game, and without knowing what it's going to be, I'm trying to temper my excitement because I like new things. I get bored super easy. So I get super excited about stuff like this. I know a lot of people don't like change. I do. And I know that's not normal, right? So I'm trying to temper my excitement because a lot of times stuff doesn't live up to my personal level of looking forward to it, you know? And we'll have to wait and see. But let me know what you think. Hopefully you enjoyed this preview. I'm not comparing him to other strikers. He doesn't make anywhere near the top, right? At the moment of the two, I think Seamus is way better, the B tier. He's going to help way more people, be way more useful at the moment. But I don't I have a good feeling about this triple black moveset for the new game mode. I really do. Anyway, that's what I got for you guys on Bron. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like, subscribe, and share because that really helps me out. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching. Good luck out there. And good luck with the zombies. Yeah, boy. I do think you're gonna end up wanting this guy for that new mode. I don't know. That's a gut feeling. Not inside info or anything like that. That's just a gut feeling.